You don't help her. You run. Yes, you run to the nearest open airlock that you see. Do not bother putting on a spacesuit. You haven't made any smart decisions at this point, so why fucking start now? Just dive headfirst right out that open airlock, and then you'll be in the cold vastness of space. Your organs, your blood, your eyeballs, your very tissues will evaporate. You will be in incredible pain, but that pain will be oh so brief, much briefer than the pain you will endure watching Alien Romulus, the latest entry in the Alien franchise, written and directed by Fede Alvarez, who did Evil Dead 2013, so he knows all about doing invasive reboots that nobody fucking asked for. He also did Don't Breathe, and he also wrote the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Netflix movie. So yeah, again, invasive reboots that nobody fucking asked for. So yeah, this also was written by one of the other people that did Don't Breathe, and yes, is the latest entry in the Alien franchise. That has been milk goddamn drier than a cow floating out in space. In case anybody can't tell, I'm not going to be very kind to Alien Romulus, and I will explain why. I don't fucking care, by the way, if anybody's offended, because if you like this, great. I'm happy for you. I am thrilled that you fucking like this. I will say one positive, the practical effects are pretty goddamn good. He understood that kind of assignment. He just didn't understand anything else. The writing in this movie is fucking atrocious. Absolutely putrid. These aren't even one-note characters. This is just fucking fan service that beats you over the fucking head to the goddamn point that you're sick of it. And that's just 30 fucking minutes in. It's fine. It's totally fine. It's just fine. It's just supposed to be entertainment, but the key word there is entertainment. So yeah, the Alien franchise started back all the way in 1979. And then we had a 7-year break until 1986, for those of you that aren't math majors. And that was Aliens. That was also the peak of the fucking franchise. And then you had Aliens 3. They had a bunch of reshoots. Poor David Fincher had to suffer through that. Alien Resurrection was sort of a return to form. Not great. Then you had the Alien vs. Predator movies that I don't really count in the canon. And I didn't retro-review, at least not yet. Then you had Prometheus. Then you had Alien My Covenant. And then you had this. So I imagine that Ridley Scott probably wanted to do a new trilogy to lead up to the first one. But unfortunately, Prometheus was really, really beautifully shot and incredibly fucking boring, despite the great cast. And Alien My Covenant decided to basically mix action and philosophy and didn't do either of them right. That CGI looked terrible. That movie came out in 2017. So this movie had a much smaller budget compared to those, and you know what? I'll give Fede Alvarez this much credit. He did everything he could to maximize the budget and make the practical effects look pretty cool. There's some slimy facehuggers, some xenomorphs, and some other slimy stuff, and some blood. But much like the 2013 Evil Dead movie that he did that I did not like. There are people that did, that's fine. To me, that movie had no redeeming qualities as far as characters, and was pretty much just saying, let's just throw more blood in there, and let's just keep throwing blood in there. I know people didn't like Evil Dead Rise. I did, because I found that at least entertaining. Alien Romulus is fucking terrible. I'm not even mixing words. Fucking terrible. Between this and Twister, it's actually almost impressive that you can take an IP that has a fan base and somehow not add anything interesting to it. So yeah, let's talk about the cast. So you had Kaylee Spaney, who was in Priscilla and most recently Civil War. Okay, she did good in Priscilla, but that movie wasn't great. She was incredible in Civil War and does her best here. She plays Rain Carradine. I felt like treating myself like another Carradine rather than watching this. God damn it, it's so fucking terrible. So fucking bad. Great practical effects, once again. You had Isabella Merced as Kay. Every idiot begins with K, because her character is an idiot. The actress is not an idiot. I want to say right now, any of the shots I take at the characters have nothing to do with the actors. Nothing to do with the actors at all. Though, I will say something, I will save it for the spoilers. Since it's set between Alien and Aliens, you know, you don't need to watch any of the other Alien movies with something that was said in an interview. There are Easter eggs in there and stuff, but you can watch this, you know, with a completely blank slate. That's fucking wrong, given one particular thing that is actually revealed that talks about a lot of new information, a lot of stuff that sort of bridges the movies. At least tries to, except that bridge is about as goddamn rickety as a few of the ones in Washington State that are needing to be fixed, well past the point where they were actually drivable. But nevertheless, you had Archie Renault, who was in Morbius and Voyagers. This isn't as bad as Morbius, let me say that much, but then again, very few things are. He plays Tyler. And then there's Andy, the android. Oh, that is so fucking creative. God, bra fucking bow for that creativity. Jesus, the level of ineptitude on display as far as the writing is absolutely astonishing. The characters mean nothing. There's a little bit of a relationship between Rain and Andy, because Andy is a connection to her father. And there's a character named Navarro, Aileen Wu, and their debut. I will say that everybody tries, but their characters mean nothing. Mean absolutely nothing. So yes, set between the events of Alien and Aliens, Rain wants to get enough credits or enough hours doing something to get off of this planet that Weyland-Yutani is running, because Weyland-Yutani prioritizes alien alien DNA and everything and other stuff over saving the human race. But she can't get that, but then she gets the opportunity thanks to Tyler and his crew, including his cousin, that has to be one of the most one-note annoying douchebags as far as a character. He doesn't like androids, so as far as fan service, as far as anything, you have that typical thing. You have one character that doesn't like androids for whatever reason. It's a silly reason given as to why he doesn't, but whatever. That's not even the worst fault of this movie. They're going to go all the way up into the vastness of space, so right above their planet. There's an outpost thing that's spinning around. It looks like a space station wagon. And they're going to get some cryo chambers, some extra fuel, and then they're going to go on that particular ship that they're on and, take off, and they're going to go to some other planet that I'm going to call Chewbacca. I know that's not what it was actually called, but that's what some of the accents, by the way, sounded like. And I know that obviously as an American, I can't expect to understand everybody, but you need to have some fucking subtitles, because it was hard to understand some of the stuff. And I watch a lot of British, European, a lot of horror where sometimes I can actually understand what they're saying in their own language better than when they're trying to fucking speak English. Good sound design, I'll say that much. The jump scares aren't fucking earned at all. But again, great practical effects. Good sets. It is stripped down as far as the look of the first Alien and Aliens. It tries to also mix a little bit of philosophy from Prometheus and Alien My Covenant. A little bit. It doesn't necessarily work, because the movie is absolutely shit and runs out of steam very early on before the Xenomorph's goddamn attack. But apparently this was originally set to go to Hulu, much like the Predator prequel Prey. Amber Midthunder, by the way, deserves the goddamn world. She was great in that, and I wish her nothing but the best. She's not in this, though. Kaylee Spaney, I do want to say, has a really, really bright future. She is fucking great. Not necessarily in this, because she hasn't given anything to do. But it got a theatrical release set back in June, and the strikes happened, and instead of, releasing this earlier in the year, like March, nope, let's just release it now. Now, granted, it will probably earn a good goddamn amount of money, because it has been getting a lot of good feedback, but there were reshoots apparently done earlier this year. Explains a lot, honestly, because some of this movie is tonally inconsistent. Also features monumentally dumb decisions, even dumber than normal, which is saying something. Dumber than most of the Alien movies. So, yeah, once they get on this ship, they find there are xenomorphs and facehuggers, and yeah, the action scenes aren't very good. The characters keep making dumb decisions, and unfortunately, any chance of having any emotional depth is washed away and sucked out the goddamn open airlock, which is exactly where this movie deserved to be sent. Out the goddamn open airlock. Stop making Alien movies. If you can't make them good, don't fucking make any more. The sad thing, this will probably end up making enough money, or it's going to cause a couple more. I'm just throwing my goddamn notes away, because that's how little I care about, being nice towards this movie, like it has stopped me before. It's absolutely abysmal. Like, any attempts, like there's this one particular scene where they have to sneak around some facehuggers. That doesn't necessarily work because one of the characters makes another dumb decision I'll talk about in the spoilers, but it's in theaters. You want to check it out. Unfortunately, the talent and the cast is absolutely wasted because I think everybody involved in this production was wasted and then decided to film. It's in theaters. Check it out. 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. So, basically, Rain feels a connection to Andy. And she's going to do everything she can to help him. His prime directive is to take care of Rain. Once they get on the ship, by the way, we find out that Isabella Merced's character, Kay, is pregnant. Gee, I wonder if that's going to factor in anything a little bit later. I think it's obvious that Tyler does like Rain, to be fair. Kaylee Spaney, beautiful girl. Don't blame anybody for that. Those two pretty people would absolutely create beautiful children, except Tyler dies. Oh no, God, what am I ever going to do? So, it does decide to basically just throw some stuff out the window and show the fact that these are two space stations. It's Romulus and Remus. This movie was a ream. It was reaming everything good from the Alien franchise. Or it was reaming everything right up to you-know-what. So, essentially, they are going to get some cryo chambers and get some more fuel. Because some of these cryo chambers don't have enough fuel for the 9-year trip they're going to take to this fucking planet. And once something gets, basically another android is found, part of an android, he kind of, that android comes back to life. We don't quite see their face. And his little disc thing is taken out of his goddamn thing and put in Andy so they can open up this door and free Tyler and his cousin and and Navarro, and it's just so stupid. And then the facehuggers attack, and it's so hilarious. Because, yeah, there are nice practical effects. That CGI is a choice. Wasn't good. I mean, it wasn't as bad as My Covenant, but it was still pretty bad. But that being said, now, all of a sudden with new technology, Andy's prime directive is to do the best for the company. And there's a reason for that. Because the android that they found cut in half was Rook, a de-aged, brought back from the dead Ian Holm. I'm not sure how to feel about that, but whatever. It's fine. They basically honor his legacy by shading all over his character. Yes, androids have the prime directive of doing this stuff and making sure that, Weyland Yutani is happy. And in the very opening scene, as opposed to a later opening scene, they get this giant alien rock, cut it open, and they get this, stuff out of there. But honestly, and obviously, the xenomorph is going to attack. And that's what happened to this station. So now they see the end result of it. And Rook basically is able to control Andy because he has his prime directives and stuff like that. Now, Rook is cut in half. He can't do anything. But, yeah, he's basically just saying, we developed this new technology, this new medicine that from the very DNA, the very soul of the xenomorphs and the facehuggers and all that stuff. And there's a lot of xenomorphs and facehuggers and all that stuff on there. And they couldn't do anything in the first one. They shot it out the airlock before, or Ripley did. Now they're going to do this. And as we saw in Prometheus, in My Covenant, it didn't necessarily work trying to do, what they did, trying to, capture the technology. The bald fucks, by the way, from Prometheus make an appearance again in a very forced way. Kind of like how the xenomorph from Prometheus was forced, and this whole movie is forced. This movie is this movie is just so fucking forced. I'm trying not to be totally mean, but I just can't believe that this was the cut they went with. If they had to do reshoots, what the fuck was the original cut like? So, yes, people basically have to survive. Navarro gets a facehugger on her. Tries to, the cousin helps, Navarro get back there. And then a chest burster comes out. Uses this light thing to show, through the chest. And it bursts out. And then does stuff. And then Isabella Merced wakes up. Just to realize she can't be Dora the Space Explorer. Yeah, that was her, by the way. It's hard to believe that movie came out just a few years ago. She looks like a totally different person. I know everybody ages, but still, feels like a lifetime ago. Nevertheless, Isabella Merced is the only one left alive because everybody's just stupid and bad at everything, at least on that ship. The ship crashes, somehow doesn't blow shit up. And now this space station was going, just kind of rotating around. It had a 36-hour limit or time period before it was going to go into this asteroid field that's right above. But now, because it got knocked off its fucking axis, now it has 47 minutes. Just enough time to get this plot not going. It just kind of rolls along and they get stuck like Slinkies on a stair, like that Ace Ventura sequel. Actually, I would rather watch that because I think it had better writing and better coherency than this. But nevertheless, there's dad jokes that are shared between Andy and Rain, which might be kind of funny. It might be kind of a funny bonding thing, except no, they just didn't fucking work. So there's a xenomorph tunnel that shows up. They basically have made this whole thing because they took over this whole spaceship. And Rook has basically tasked Andy with taking this medicine that they developed, this compound they developed, back to Weyland-Yutani. And he's able to do that. He's going to do that. But then you know, he's still kind of struggling, but he's still got that prime directive to help out the company. And then Kay ends up getting sent out the goddamn ship, falls out the ship, falls a good 30 feet, and is somehow fine. Baby's not dead. And then she tries to go get through this door, and Andy won't open the goddamn door because the xenomorph's right there, and the xenomorph gets her, and then facehuggers are attacking and all this stuff, and they do this part where this scene just before that, where Kay is trying to get a hold of Tyler, trying to get a hold of him on his headpiece, and they're walking through, they turn up the temperature smartly to their body temperature so the facehuggers can't target them. They can read body temperature and sound, but as long as you're not an idiot, they won't find you. And then Kay calls, and he's on his he has his headset, trying to mask the noise, and talks to her. You're not supposed to make any fucking noise, you fucking dipshit! I don't care what happens to any of these motherfuckers, honestly, but good God, we still got way too much movie left. Kay gets stabbed by the xenomorph. Oh, darn. God, I missed that character already. Wait, no, I fucking don't. And he says, our mission is to do this, and to do what's best for the company. They get to the xenomorph tunnel. Andy ends up getting attacked. They find, by the way, Kay. She's all right. Somehow. And they find her, and basically, Tyler ends up getting killed. They get these guns, you know, these space marine, colonial marine guns, just before that. And don't shoot, because then the blood will, the blood will melt through and we'll just die. Another thing that I did forget to mention in my fervor was basically that this thing has zero gravity issues. Thing keeps clicking on and off and on. So they use that against the xenomorphs by turning it. It's Andy and Rain, and they turn on the zero gravity, and they shoot the xenomorphs, and then the blood's floating around and everything, but then they realize, shit, we gotta float and try to get through this blood, and then let's turn off once the zero gravity thing turns off, it's alright. It's absolutely alright. Also, Kay is back up in the goddamn spaceship, because before that, yeah, whatever, I don't care, I don't care. Andy was taken out. She takes Kay up and then says, Kay, take this medicine and go up in the ship and do that. Rook is trying to stop Rain and Andy from getting up there. But, you know, he's totally fucked, by the way. He doesn't realize what's going on because he's an android. And also, oh yeah, the actor's dead. Somehow still more lively than any other characters in this. So they do the shootout thing with the blood. Zero gravity drops down and the blood starts melting, so now they're really starting to have some issues and everything. They get into the elevator shaft, floating around still because, you know, everything's floating around. I don't know. I just don't understand any of this. I don't understand why anybody thought this was scary. They're in this elevator shaft where these two ladders are. It seems like Andy's going to get away. Rain gets her gun stuck because she loses it. She's trying to, like, shoot away at the xenomorph that grabbed her just before they float away. And now the elevator's about to come down. So Andy catches the elevator and then gets... She's about to die because they're back at the bottom of the shaft. And he gets the gun and starts shooting, you know, the xenomorph. And says, "Get away from her, you bitch." I want everybody arrested for thinking that they thought that dialogue was creative. That's not so much fan service. That's taking a goddamn box fan and taking the cover off and just sticking your face in it. Which would still be less painful than watching this. So anyway, they get up to the ship and everything's fine. They're going to go into cryo sleep. But then Kay starts having issues because, oh yeah, they were able to impregnate her. And now she has a xenomorph baby that resembles a variation of the bald fucks from Prometheus. And then it takes out Andy, takes out Kay, and then Kaylee, aka Rain, has to fight back and destroy it and ends up outsmarting it by, you know, using the blood from the alien egg womb thing to cause an open part in the air, you know, in the floor. And she has a spacesuit on because she was about to die because the temperature's fucking dropping. And she has a cable on and she's flailing and flailing. The alien's trying to get through the goddamn thing. Her helmet, this does not look like a helmet thing. It does not look like the face or the, you know, mouth thing. And there you go. That's it right there. They're floating above the asteroid field, by the way, and somehow the thing's supposed to be on manual pilot but did not crash. Because logic. So what they end up doing is the alien ends up basically dying in explosive decompression. And she gets back up there, drops the cargo bay, and the ship's fine. Now the ship's on autopilot, and they're going to be in cryo sleep. And she sends out a message. "I'm coming home, Chewbacca. I'm coming home." And Andy, I guess, is going to be repaired. I don't give a shit. Please don't do another one. Please fucking don't. What the fuck are you going to do? Do one between Aliens and Alien 3? Good fucking luck. F. Terrible. Agree, disagree, what I said. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritlin. I'll see you soon.